back in Lightroom 3, Adobe added the ability to watermark your photos, and they've continued that with Lightroom 4. There's no new features with it, but it kind of falls into the whole export process, which I know that I didn't break it out. It's in the importing and organizing section, but to me, it still kind of feels like it should be there. So if you come up here to the File menu, go down to Export. Okay. In fact, let me select a couple more photos here. We'll just select 4 photos. File menu, go down to Export. What you do is you come down here to the watermarking section. So first off, we have to turn it on. And then you've got an option, simple watermark, and then you've got some presets, which I've created up here, or edit watermarks. All right, so I'm going to choose edit watermarks. This is kind of where all the magic happens. So we get the watermark editor. Very, very, very full-featured watermarking editor inside of here. So you've got some different options when it comes to what you're going to watermark your photos with. You've got text or you've got graphic. So let's take a look at text first. So I'll just put copyright. Let's just do my initials here, MK. All right, so we're going to write some text in here. Of course, as you scroll down through here, you've got all of your text options, from the font to the style to the position to the color to the shadow that goes below the text to how far that shadow is offset, all that fun stuff. You've got the ability to change all that. You've also got the ability to change the size, which might actually help make it easier to see some of these options here. So if I turn it off, see the difference? You can see the shadow that goes under it. All right, you've got opacity, so I can lower the opacity. I'm actually going to change this. Let's go hit the letter A. Let's go to Arial Black. There we go. All right, so now you can see it a little bit better too. So you can change all these options over here. You can change the opacity if you want. I think that looks really, really good. No, it doesn't. And that's the other thing, is you got to battle with watermarks. You got to battle you don't want it to take over your photo either. So there is kind of like a catch-22 to all that. How much do you want to protect the photo, but at the same time, how much do you want to ruin the impact of the photo? Okay, so you can change all these, the opacity. Come down here, you can change where it's anchored to. So top left, middle, top right, right in the middle, at the bottom, bottom left. So you can change all those things. You can, of course, rotate it around too. Okay, so that's text. Now, let's jump over to graphic. What's going to happen here is, first, you've got to choose what graphic you want to use. So I'm going to go to my desktop because I actually have a graphic on here. So you can see Matt K graphic. I'll choose it. And this is a graphic I created inside of Photoshop. All right, let me change the opacity so you can see it a little bit better. This is something I created in Photoshop, right? Just did it with the type tool and a couple of different tools in there. You'll notice that it's transparent. Okay, it doesn't have a white background behind it. The only thing that I did differently as I created this in Photoshop is when I go to File, let's make a new document just so I can show you the Save dialog box. But when I go to File, Save, okay, instead of choosing JPEG, I chose the PNG format, because PNG supports transparency. So instead of choosing JPEG, I added a type layer, and I just, like I said, I put my name onto the thing there. So text, let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. I added a type layer, and then all you got to do is you just drag your background white layer, just drag that to the trash can. So now you have transparency, and when you save it as a PNG file, so that way that transparency carries through, and what'll happen is you'll see what I see here. Now you can put a nicer graphic, and you don't have to have this ugly white background behind it that kind of intrudes on your whole photo. All right, so that's the same thing with a graphic. I mean, nothing really changes. You don't have text options anymore, but you still have opacity, and you still have the ability to place it wherever you want. When you're done, hit the Save button. This is going to let you name the preset, because from here on out, now I don't have to, once I name this, now I won't have to go through and set these settings all up again. I won't have to load the graphic, determine the position, determine the size, and the opacity. It'll save all that stuff as a preset for me. So every time that I come in here, when I go into the watermark, you're going to see my presets that'll pop up here. So instead of going into the whole watermarking editor, I'll just be able to choose the preset. Okay, so let's, in fact, I should have just left it the way it was because I wanted to show you an example of one. Okay, I'm going to make it pretty big. I don't know that I'd normally make it that big, but let's go ahead and save. Hit create. I'm going to hit the export button now, and you're going to see Lightroom's going to turn away. It's going to export all 4 of those images. Let's jump back over here onto our desktop. take a look at them, and I'll just open one up and you can see it's put the watermark on there for me. If I go to the next image, same exact spot. Okay, so watermarking comes to exporting. I know it's part of the export dialog, but to me it's kind of also a whole different topic because it is a very, very popular feature for people that are giving their photos and putting their photos in certain places that they don't want people to be able to just steal them, that at least you get your watermark on there so somebody knows, whoever's looking at this, somebody knows, hey, this belongs to somebody. You shouldn't be doing anything with it that you shouldn't be doing with it. So we've got our watermark on there. Lightroom gives us a way to automatically do it.